Welcome to School Zone, the show all about your local school districts here in the White Mountains. I'm your host, John Larson. Today we have a super good show today. We've got the Sholo High School Robotics team with us, with their two mentors, Cory Gillespie and Erik Cosgray. I want to introduce to you Jace Owens, and then there's Erik Scarlett and Cheyenne McKinley. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you.
I'm really glad you're here. So last month, I had the privilege of having your mentors here. I probably should back up and say, first of all, you guys came to a school board meeting about 2 months ago and shared with us your successes and displayed your robot for us and whatnot. And I was so impressed. I just thought what you guys do is so great. Above just the robotics part of it, I saw the potential and the ability for personal growth for you guys. So that's why I asked your mentors to be on last month, and we had such a good time. We visited and talked about having you guys come back this month and visit with us. So what I'd like to do really quickly, just a quick introduction of yourself, you know, your name and how long you've lived in Sholo, that kind of stuff. Nothing real too deep if you don't want to. Jace, let's start with you.
Okay, hello, I'm Jace Owens. Lived in Sholo for 15 years, I believe, something like that, long time.
I'm Erik Scarlett, and I've lived in Sholo for 8 years.
I'm Cheyenne McKinley, and I've lived in Sholo for about 3 years.
Great, I appreciate you guys being here. So I just really think that what you guys do is really cool. Maybe it's because I'm so old and these things did not exist when I was in school, and so it's really cool. I don't know, but I was just so impressed with what you guys do. What makes your team, your robotics team, what makes it different than other clubs or sports teams that we have at Sholo?
So it's different because it's not just training and then competing. It's also learning public skills. We're speaking with people. We are leaving the state multiple times, and we're not just competing. We're also talking with the other teams, and we're making friends with them. So it's more of sharing our community across wherever we go.
Great. Anybody else have something to add to that?
So one of the things I love about first, so we had the saying, it's it's not just robots, something like that. So one of the things we emphasize in first is gracious professionalism. So basically that's having a gracious attitude towards others and being professional at the same time. So say in competition, we have to have a good sportsmanship towards the other teams, and we're gracious and professional at the same time. And I love that value that they emphasize. So it's not just building robots, it's being good sports at the same time.
Okay, so coming from a guy who used to play football and some other sports, you hate your enemy. They're the bad guys. You want to do everything you can to destroy them. What's it like when you guys are in competition that way?
Well, during our competitions, sometimes we have to compete with people, and then other times that we actually work with those people. So you need to be grateful for them, and then you also want to help them any way that you can, because you may need them for your next competition. Hence
the professionalism. So making enemies is not a part of the program, which is great, because what a life skill, right? I mean, there's going to be people that you'll struggle with at work and whatnot, but rather than make them an enemy, you make them an ally and maybe an advocate even. Exactly. Cool stuff. So you threw out the word first, okay? We talked a little bit about it last month, but I want you to tell us, what is FIRST?
Okay, so FIRST stands for the Inspiration Recognition of Science and Technology. So basically it's a worldwide organization that a guy named Dean Kamen established, I don't know how many years ago, but it's been around for quite a while. So basically it's inspiring the next generation through STEM and robotics.
Okay, so this is the organization that you belong to, that you compete under that umbrella, correct?
Yes.
Why did you choose FIRST as opposed to something like VEX or something like that?
So we chose FIRST because it's a bigger competition, and it's closer to how the real world functions. We're giving a task and then a deadline for said task. And that's how things are done. And it really helps with life skills and getting to know other people as well.
So is this, so you're saying FIRST is a larger organization, and I'm assuming that brings more opportunities to you guys? Is that part of the deal?
Yeah, I think it's a lot more established than a lot of other robotics organizations. Also, a cool thing about FIRST is we have ample scholarship opportunities. So I think there's about $80 million worth throughout FIRST, and a lot of that goes unused. So it's, we have a lot of opportunities to apply for those scholarships and get all our college paid for.
So you can apply for scholarships for your college education through FIRST, the organization.
Yes.
Really, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Did you say there's roughly $80 million available?
I believe so.
How great is that?
That's great.
That is really cool. So I'm assuming that you're a senior next year, you're a senior, and you're a junior, right?
Yes.
So as a junior, you should probably be looking forward to some of those scholarship opportunities. You guys certainly should already be working on that. Are you going to take advantage of these scholarship opportunities with FIRST?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
definitely
Great.
plan on it.
Great.
Yeah.
Super. That's great.
I don't want student loans.
So is there any other way, tell me some ways that FIRST affects you personally or as a team?
Let's see. So, well, with FIRST, so like I said, the gracious professionalism, it's really given me a different outlook on competitions. So it's helped me to emphasize sportsmanship a little bit more, working with, someone who's your ally in one match and your enemy in the other. You gotta learn to work with that, and I think that's really helped me.
Cool. Anything else for you guys?
It really gives you an opportunity to meet different people. You see how different people's minds work and how they decided how to do things. It really makes you want to think more about how you do things and wants you
Right.
to.
That's cool. So what I'm in my mind, what I'm thinking is you're seeing someone else's critical thinking in what they're working on, either separate than you or with you,
Yeah.
and you're able to learn from their critical thinking to adjust your critical thinking or add to it.
Yeah, so like if you see something that you think could like be a benefit to you, you can like kind of use that, and it gives you the idea to see different things from different places that you might not have ever thought about.
Very excellent. Eric, you got anything to add to that?
So I also just want to add that it allows for people who, say, don't have that many opportunities to really get out and pursue careers that they want to, but may not be able to because going online to take online classes can be expensive, and we're doing this for free.
So what motivated you to get into robotics?
Well, I'll take that one. So really, inventing has always been like a lifelong passion of mine. When I was, just a young kid, I'd always be taking apart toys and seeing how they worked, and looking at all the gears and motors and everything. Some of them wouldn't end up back together. But when
And you're the oldest in your family. Usually that's a younger brother thing.
so unfortunately, they did not get a lot of toys passed down. So, getting into robotics, it helped me to expand my knowledge. So before, I would build stuff out of cardboard and duct tape and baling wire and all these random weird parts. And when I actually got into robots, I could actually use CAD software. I could use metal and bolts and we're going to use CNC machines, mills, lathe, all sorts of stuff. And I could actually see some of my ideas coming to life, which was just incredible. And another thing, so CAD, it's a computer-aided design. So I specifically use SolidWorks. So before I got into robotics, my dad tried to get me into CAD. I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to use this. I have no passion to learn it whatsoever. But I get into robotics and I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. So that's
Very
what got
cool.
me motivated.
Very cool. How about you, Eric?
So I got motivated because I had always wanted to pursue programming, but I never had access to any software that I needed or any way to test what I had written if I had written something.
Yeah, because it's not normally in the home, right? So
Yeah.
if you don't have access to it, you don't get to use it.
Yeah, and so now I can write a code and 10, 15 minutes later I can see it running on a robot to know that, hey, I did something that works.
Or conversely, if it doesn't work, you go back and rework that program
Yes.
and then put it back in and try it again.
Yes, and there's a lot of reworking.
Right? Yeah, I would imagine there is. Yeah, I would imagine. Cheyenne?
I've always wanted to be an engineer. It's just always been a passion for me, and I was trying to find something that was going to get me motivated to get into a career like that, and robotics seemed like the perfect opportunity to go there. It really did give me everything I really needed to start working towards an engineering degree.
Very cool. I like it. So, what is the name of your team?
Cougar Pride Robotics.
Cougar Pride Robotics. And you've got a robot. What is that robot's name?
Cardiac arrest.
Cardiac arrest. Why cardiac arrest?
Well, I mean, CPR, you gotta think, so that's the design. We got the heartbeat on there. So we're like, hey, wait a second, we should name our robot after a heart disease or something like that.
So is there, do you guys build a robot a year? Or do you use the same robot every year, modify it?
No, we rebuild.
one.
You build one every year. So you have your cardiac arrest robot. So this coming year you'll build another one.
Yes.
Have you got any ideas of what you're going to build or what its name is or anything like that?
Well, we really don't know the design until we find out what the competition is. Which
And
is,
that's in January.
Yes.
January.
First Saturday.
The first Saturday in January. Okay. We wanted to remind everybody that because we talked about that last month. So you don't know what the design is yet, so you don't know what your robot's going to look like.
Yeah.
And a name, you thinking some names? You throwing out some names, or is that proprietary? We should keep it quiet.
Still working on that.
Still working on it. All right, that's fair. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So what do you guys do as individuals and as a team aside from building robots?
Well, so for this season, I was voted in as the team captain. So a lot of what that's going to involve is running the team, making sure that tasks are getting done, our time management's good, making sure we don't have conflicts, and basically just making sure the team runs smoothly.
So you're going to manage people.
Pretty much, and still have to do some of the CAD work as well, which I'm not complaining about. I love CAD. So.
Were you going to say something, Shannon?
Oh, we make sure that we're more of like a family than a team. We really try to be more close and connected, everybody connected, than really.
So how well do you guys get along?
Well, we have some struggles.
So you're like a family.
Yes.
Yeah, because not everybody always gets along, but
No.
you fix it and move on, right?
Yeah.
In order to function as a team and be successful in your endeavor, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Did you have something to say, Eric?
So there's also the fact that sometimes other team members aren't as knowledgeable, so we have to go through the task of teaching them. And if it's a subject that's even our mentors don't know so much about, then it's harder, but it still needs to be done.
Sure.
So we have to teach them, and it's not just one person standing and telling them how to do things. How we did it is, we're doing this, and we learned on hands-on.
Right. So what I hear from what we just talked about, I hear you're learning to manage people. You're learning to get along in the workplace
Yes.
with one another and be able to get past difficulties in order to get the job done.
Yes.
I mean, the life skills you guys are learning is just really amazing to me. Absolutely. It really is. This kind of stuff really, I mean, I learned it from playing football and baseball and track and whatnot. But I'm not sure that I learned it to the extent that you guys are able to learn it this way. So I just really think that's so great. What makes your team special?
So I would say that since we're in a relatively small area, and other teams come from much larger places, it's an opportunity just to see that it's not really how much money you're getting to see how well you do, but how much work you're willing to put in, because although we're not nearly as funded as other teams are, we can still win a decent amount of time.
And one of the unique things about our robots is we custom build them. So The only things we really buy is the gearboxes and the motors and control hubs and stuff like that. But like every piece of aluminum on there, we've thrown in the mill, we've cut with the saws, and gone through the whole process of making it a unique robot.
So there's not another one like it,
Nope.
right? So you've thrown out two things that I want to talk about. First of all, Erik, you talked about funding. Okay, funding can be difficult, right? So this is the point where we make an appeal to those people in the community to help you guys out to be able to do the things that that you need to do and you want to do in order to be as successful as possible. So I'm really excited that with the amount of funding that you have, you're able to be as successful as you are, but we're always looking for more partners from those in the community, both business and individual, that can help you guys. So there's the funding part that we wanted to talk about. The other thing is you talked a little bit about what each one of you do. So each one of you have a role or a specific skill set that you have that you use on the team. Cheyenne, let's start with you and tell us the fun things you get to do.
So I'm an engineer. I really like the hands-on part. So we talked about the mill. So I'm learning how to use the mill. It's very complex. It allows us to get very precise, which I love. And then I also use the lathe that allows us to get precision that I could just never dream of. And I just like making the parts by hand, just getting a piece of scrap aluminum and making it into what I want it to be. It's what I do. I love it.
Very cool, Erik.
So I am a programmer. It's what I enjoy to do, sitting at a computer and typing. And it's really not interesting to see something that if you were just to look at and seem like gibberish, to have that make a robot move. And it's also really fun to actually write out sentences that are in short bits, the exact opposite of what your English teacher wants you to do.
Right? That's
Oh,
great.
what they would say.
Jace?
So, like I've said a few times, I do CAD design. So last year I was the head engineer, so I oversaw a lot of the building of the robot. So with the CAD, I can go in, I can design the robot, and we can see the robot on the computer before we actually build it, so we can test out some functions. With SolidWorks this year, we'll be able to do all the analysis of, what's it going to weigh, how's the stress going to be on this part, what's this gearbox ratio going to do, and we'll be able to get a much better idea of how we can optimize our design before we actually go and build it.
Very cool. So if you were the head last year, who is it this year?
We don't have anyone yet.
Don't have one yet?
Working on that.
So maybe Cheyenne can step up to that. Yeah, great, super. So if you could give me one sentence, how has being in this robotics program impacted your life, Cheyenne? Maybe I won't hold you to one sentence. Maybe it's not fair to hold you to one sentence.
Well,
or you could do a run-on sentence. Really get your
how does it say impacted my life? It's really just giving me opportunities that I thought I'd never have. It gives me the inspiration to keep moving on, and it makes me want to reach for my dreams, not like, oh, I'm never going to be able to get that. It allows me to get there. It gives me what I need to get there.
Very cool. I like it.
See, with me, again, it provides me the opportunity to do what I want to do, which is programming, but it also has gotten me to open up to other people. I was very quiet before, and now I actually have friends.
Good for you. Jace?
So it's impacted my life so much. I think by being in this program, I'm pretty much a completely different person. So I've had opportunities to really expand on my skills, like in engineering and machining and CAD work, and it's inspired me to go on to college and to do something like mechanical or robotics engineering, and eventually go on to NASA and work with them. And so it's just taught me so many skills, and not just building robots, life skills. I mean, managing a project, managing a team, working with people, talking to people, doing shows like this. I mean, it's incredible.
Very good. How many team members are on your team? How many people on your team? Because you're the president, you're the vice president, and you're the secretary and treasurer, right?
Yes.
So aside from you three, I mean, I don't want to get the idea that it's you three doing everything. How many people are on your team?
Well, this last year, I believe we had about 20.
Yeah, it was about
Something like that.
25, and then some people were kind of
A little
Yeah.
more
involved
active
than others.
or involved than
Yeah.
others. Okay. So that's pretty big group.
It is.
Yeah.
Are you putting a cap on membership or?
Next year, I believe we are planning on that. I think it was like, 12 members. So we'll have our main team. So during our first semester of school, we'll do all the training, and we'll train people how to use the machines and how to program, do pretty much everything and all the skills that are involved in robotics. And then we'll have interviews, and we'll kind of narrow down the team based on their performance and their skills.
To see if they're really serious about
Yeah.
what it is. Like
Right.
if they're not, you're just here
Then
to
come
hang
January when you get your assignments and everything, you're rocking and rolling from there on
Yep.
with a
Yeah.
solid team. Very cool. What do you think about the skills that you've learned? Maybe we've already hit on this, but you're learning skills that are going to help you later in life. Anything specific? Anything that really that means the most to you? The skill that you've learned the most that's been important to you, Jace?
So I think leadership is definitely one of the biggest ones. So being the head engineer last year, I was able to, kind of work. It was a smaller team, so that kind of gave me an opportunity to work with them and learn how to direct people better. And then being team captain this year, I get to help lead the whole club. So really, learning leadership.
So
is,
leadership for
yeah.
you, all right?
So for me, it would probably be public speaking because I was really bad at it before I started. But not just through speaking with our team, but at every competition we have interview with judges presenting our team. And that really helps build those skills so that when it comes time for, say, a job interview, you can advertise yourself.
Great.
I don't know.
It's all about designing and
Yeah.
whatnot for you.
There's so many.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, I think I got that
Yeah.
from some of the earlier stuff we talked about. So how do your actions as members of this robotic team, how do your actions affect the community? What can our community look to you as a benefit? Aside from the fact, I'm gonna throw this in that, I mean, obviously this program is making you better people. It's preparing you for the life that's ahead of you. I mean, we all know that we're getting more and more technologically advanced as a society, and so this kind of is right in that vein to put you guys into success. But what are our community members? We're asking them to help out. We're asking them to help fund us, to be sponsors, to help us any way they can. What's it going to do for the community?
So I think the biggest thing that we do is we inspire the next generation to get into STEM, to be people who contribute to society and who can make a difference. That's really the whole goal of this program, is to make a change. I love the theme for this year. So we're first is teaming up with I believe it's called Force for Change through Star Wars, something like that. And yes, Star Wars is awesome. So it's kind of, I believe it's a movement to make a difference, and it's just awesome. So that's one of the reasons I love FIRST and why I think the community should support us.
Okay. You got anything to add to that, guys?
So I would say it's more than just us helping our community, because we're also getting our community known to other people. So
Okay.
maybe they want to come and visit, say hi, or maybe they want to move here. More people here, which is nice.
Okay, great. Cheyenne?
Well, anybody who donates to us or anything like that, we really like to show how much they mean to us. We put them on our robot and on our shirts. We show that we're representing them and that our sponsorship from them, it means a lot to us, not just thank
Great.
you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So what advice do you give to a kid that wants to join the robotic team? What do they do, and what's your advice?
So I would say if they're having any like hesitations about joining, their maybe their mindset is, I don't have the skills to join, or I don't know enough, or anything like that. My advice would be just try it. I mean, that's what the whole first semester is for, is learning those skills. And you never know. I mean, you may get in there and you may be like, hey, I love programming. It was like me. I didn't ever think I'd get into CAD, but I get in there and I'm like, this is awesome. So I learned a skill and learned that I liked it. So I would just say, just give it a shot.
Okay, all right.
I have to agree, just go for it, because when I first joined, I barely knew anything about programming, but I taught myself how to make a robot move. So,
Try it, you might like it, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cheyenne?
I'd say the same thing. Just like if you have any questions or anything, we're always there. We can always ask us, and that we're just try it. It really, just try it.
Cool, great. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you coming to see me. I'm appreciative that you took time out. I know you could have been doing something else today instead of coming here and spending time with me, but I want you to know I really appreciate it. I think that what you guys do is great. I think that the potential that your program has to build individuals and prepare them for the future is phenomenal. And I am so grateful to the two of you. You do this on your own time. Sometimes you're throwing out your own money and waiting who knows how long to get reimbursed. I really appreciate what you do for the kids. I'm so grateful, and we invite people to be a part of it. Come out and see it, watch it, be a part of it. Thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate you. Thanks for joining us here on The School Zone, and we'll see you again soon.